Hey everyone, welcome back to Topher Drives, where for the past couple of days I've been daily driving this 2025 Porsche 911 Carrera S. And to show that I've been daily driving it, I haven't washed it, but now I'm realizing in this lighting it's kind of hard to tell, but you can kind of see, it was raining yesterday, you can see where all of the rain droplets kind of flowed over this rear haunch. Kind of cool looking. Anyway though, what I want to see today is this new 992.2 generation still daily drivable? Of course, the Porsche 911 is kind of renowned as a nice daily driver. The Carrera S is kind of like the dentist spec, the one that is most bought in the 911 lineup. For the 0.2 generation, this now has 473 horsepower, 390 pound-feet of torque from its 3-liter twin-turbo flat 6. We have an 8-speed PDK, and since this isn't the 4S, it's rear-wheel drive. This starts at about $150,000 as spec today, $178,000. And you guys know I love a good Porsche spec. And this is in the best Porsche color, Guards Red. We have a black leather interior. We have these RS Spyder wheels. We have rear axle steer, front end lift, PASM, the 22-gallon extended range fuel tank. We have the premium pack with Bose audio. All in all, like I said, about $30,000 worth of options. And if I left anything out, of course, we'll have that spec for you down in the description. But I think this car looks the business. For 2025, as I said, this transitioned into its 0.2 generation, which is Porsche's way of saying that the car got a facelift. It's new. There are new things. And one of the things was the power bump. Porsche achieved this by fitting new turbos to this 3-liter flat 6. Couple of minor exterior changes. We have bigger intakes on the front bumper now, which just kind of exposes these radiators in the front. So if you were to actually buy this car, you'd maybe want to buy some aftermarket mesh. Pieces of nature kind of demonstrating that right now. We've got some leaves and things in there, but I do think this looks quite proper. Of course, the 992, somewhat of a departure from the 991. The car is kind of closer to the base. The S are now turbocharged and things. I mean, this happened in 991.2, so this isn't super new. But the 911, each generation kind of strays from certain things that were iconic for its entire lifetime. For instance, now in this 992.2, we no longer have a physical, actual tack in the middle of the cluster. We no longer have Porsche's entry and drive little switch to turn the car on. It's now just a stop-start button. So there are pieces of the 911's soul that are disappearing every year, but does that really matter? I don't really know. Today we're going to see what this is like to live with. I'm gonna run to the store. Well, we're gonna do our normal sort of downtown commute, but I have to stop at the store and grab things to make dinner. Emily's working a late shift today, so I wanted to surprise her with some soup for when she gets home. It's kind of like fall season right now. The trees are changing. It's like 55 degrees. I'm in a sweatshirt, and well, we'll see what this is like. Just a very average day in Michigan. But before we do that, let's show you around it. And actually, we'll start up front because this is the business, well, it's actually not the business end. The back is the business end, but this will be the end that I'm using today for my groceries. And I always love that Porsche frunks can actually fit things. My 987 Cayman S, Emily's 981 Boxster, they both actually have very similarly sized frunks, and it just makes these cars genuinely usable. And even more so the Cayman and Boxster, because they have two of them, since they're mid-engined and the 911 is rear-engine, which means around back you don't have anywhere to put anything. And I do actually have to go into the car to pop the hood. We'll show you we'll show you what that means. It's just like this little piece of plastic with our third brake light on it that lifts up to expose what look like computer fans, but those are cooling fans for our 3-liter S twin turbo flat 6. That's all you can see. If you want to get any work done to this car, it's probably in your best interest to take it to the Porsche dealer, which for some people and some 911 enthusiasts is a bit of a bummer. And I always feel like I'm breaking those when I shut them because it's just like a big piece of plastic. We have this massive rear spoiler that is active aero. This pops up. For tires today, we have a Pirelli P0. On the front, a 245/35 ZR20. And on the back, a 305/30 ZR21. So a staggered setup with these RS Spyder wheels. I like them except for the fact that they don't have colored crests. I actually don't know if you can spec colored crests on the RS Spyder wheel, but if you can, I'll put the answer right here on the screen. Okay, that's probably good. I mean, it's a 992.2. It's still a 911. Let's jump in, but before we get in the front seat, I don't know that I've ever tried fitting in the back seat of a 911, but today is the day because this car has the $0 optional add-on rear seats. The 992.2 Carrera S comes standard with a rear seat delete, so you have to tell Porsche now if you want rear seats or not. Oh dear. I'm trying to see how I can make this work. Maybe if I sit on the tunnel here? Oh, yeah. Right, so I don't fit behind my driving position. Oh, I hope nobody's watching right now. There is actually a parking lot full of cars. There's usually not that, but sat behind this actually optional 18-way sport seat with the hard backs. Love to see that. I simply do not fit. So if you're going to be using the rear seat, make sure it's for people that are smaller than me. And put myself in a situation. I think the right leg's got to go out first. There it is. Yep. Okay. We're good. But if you don't want to use these as seats, they do actually fold down. You've got these little clips here that make it into a parcel shelf, and it is actually quite practical. There's room there under the rear glass, as you can see, but they don't look all that bad folded up. We're going to leave that there so it doesn't rattle. And this does actually have the optional full black leather interior. Porsche doesn't call it extended leather, but as standard you just get black. This is black leather. But the best option in this interior is indeed these 18-way sport seats. We also have the Sport Chrono. All these new Porsches lately, they all turn ignition on as soon as you get in, and then you just kind of do the last step, hitting the stop-start button. But the car starts chiming, it starts powering up all the electronics as soon as you sit in the driver's seat. So that's interesting. Otherwise in here, not a whole lot of changes. I mean, it's still kind of unapologetically 911. From the steering wheel over, we have this infotainment screen, which I don't think has changed all that much. It's still kind of subpar. We have this gray trim here, a number of toggle switches, turn on and off our sport exhaust. We have the optional front end lift. We have the button for our PASM, or PASM, Porsche Active Suspension Management, whatever you want to call it. Many acronyms. Volume knob. We've got little toggle switches for our climate control. Very nice button clicks in this interior, and I think Porsche really liked the way that these came out, and they made the shifter just a bigger version of the climate buttons. We just kind of joked that this is a bronze shaver. Trim your beard with it, shift your Porsche with it, whatever the case may be. Little cup holder over there for Barb, and then Rick's got his cup holder right here in the middle, which you pull this and it pops out. You can see warning messages there to, what is that warning about? I think it's warning you not to have nothing in there because maybe things can drip down and damage things, but we'll pop that back in to make the car happy. In front of us, a heated steering wheel. We've got heated and ventilated seats as well. Drive mode selector onto the steering wheel with Sport Response and Sport Chrono. Leather stitched dash, black headliner. I mean, it's a pretty basic interior in this car, but it feels well put together. I'm like kind of sorry to say that the last few 911s we've had have had little interior rattles and creaks and things that really you just shouldn't have in a nearly $200,000 car. But this particular Carrera S has felt like the best built 911 we've had so far. Power adjust steering column, always good to see as well. Okay, we're rambling at this point. Let's get out on the road. We'll do our little performance loop. We'll commute this, get it onto the highway, etc. We'll stop at the store, do all of our normal stuff, and just kind of see what this is like as a daily driver. Putting the shaver into reverse there, you can see our 360 cam and our reverse cam. Parking brake automatically disengages and automatically engages when you come to a stop. As much as we make fun of this shifter, I really don't mind it for ease of use. The only thing I don't like about it is it doesn't give you, obviously, an option to shift your gears. Sorry to interrupt the P0 ASMR, but I like with the GT cars, the GT3, GT4, etc., they have the actual shifter down here where you can bump it over to the left and actually change gear. This has memory with the front end lift, so I've programmed this speed bump here in and out of the warehouse complex to automatically lift the front end, so I don't have to redundantly hit this button every time. I do redundantly like to lower the car because the front end is so stiff when the front end is raised. The suspension is like ridiculously hard. It feels like it just has blocks of wood up there, so I like to manually lower that down. If you have the patience to wait, it'll automatically lower at like 35-ish miles an hour. And guys, to be fully transparent, I like this more than the GTS. There, I said it. I like this more than the T Hybrid. I think this feels like more of an authentic and real 911. As much as I liked the T Hybrid, this just, it feels more biblically accurate. Like, I get in this, I hear 911 sounds, I feel 911 through the steering wheel. It doesn't feel like it's faking anything. And I'm a big fan of that. I don't really like stuff that's faked in cars. Right, let's stick this into sport. If you guys couldn't tell by the intro, I'm a little bit sleepy today. I'm really not in the biggest mood to drive fast, but we're gonna do it anyway for the spirit of the video. And what's nice about this car is even if you're not in the mood to drive fast, A, you don't have to, but B, if you do have to, this car makes it very easy, very fluid, very streamlined. The 8-speed PDK is deliciously smooth and unproblematic. You can put this gearbox into manual as well by pushing the M. Get by this brodozer here. Beautiful, effortless downshifts. We're just in sport. There is a further mode called Sport Plus, of course. Car rips. This is so funny. This is like one up from base. I guess technically two, because it goes base, Carrera T, Carrera S, but this is like Porsche claims 0 to 60 in right around 3 seconds. I think Car and Driver tested it in like 2.9 with their rollout, but man, it feels it. This car is, it's quick. It rips. Like nice feeling paddle shifter too in this car. Nice weight, they're metal. Let's go Sport Plus. Suspension will automatically stiffen. And then all of a sudden, maybe I am in the mood to drive quickly. I do like this car quite a bit. I do like how accessible this 911 is. I mean, you really could just put anyone in this car and they could go have a good time with it. The traction control system, I mean, PSM has always been very sophisticated. Each era, you know, it gets better and better and better, but it's so natural feeling. I mean, it didn't cut in any back there, but yesterday, the Topher and I were driving this around in the rain, and this traction control system is really the business. It's pretty safe, but it also lets you have a little bit of slip. Let's put our suspension into soft. We're gonna go do a launch control. I haven't done one in the dry yet, so you guys will be getting my first impressions on that. Let's put this back into auto. Really smart programming on this PDK. Another bombshell here, the sound of this 3-liter is really growing on me. It sounds very, very genuine here in this 992.2S. All right, let's pull up to our launch control spot and let her rip. I don't know where it finds all that grip. 56 degrees on a Pirelli P0. I think it finds some of it by using its clutches. Just like very darty steering as well. Wow, I mean, check this out. Around the bumps, no problem. This car is brightening my mood quite a bit, actually. This is what I needed. Get out of the house, get off the couch, go drive the 911. Lifting spirits. Yeah. Even from the outside. Sounds pretty good. But with the suspension in its soft mode, as it is right now, this is a very forgiving car, actually, even with these 20 and 21 inch staggered wheels. Ride quality is lovely. Now, it's no Porsche active ride like we had in the Taycan Turbo GT, but it's impressive. Adding to the wonderful daily driver status here of the .2 Carrera S. Let's go windows down one more time. Smallest little ounce of turbo lag, but with this having 2 turbos, it does mitigate most of that. Now, this is no GTS-T hybrid with the electric motor in the turbos, or in the turbo. That's a single turbo car. This is twin, but that car has no turbo lag. This has a little. I think that's okay. Kind of just adds to the character. Speaking of the rain, here it comes now. I'm glad I didn't wash this. But okay, let's put this into regular sport. I like that for just kind of driving around normally. Leaves the exhaust in loud mode, but kind of softens the gear changes and things down. Now this has auto wipers. This car has the optional 22-gallon extended range fuel tank, which is only about a $300 option. So it makes you wonder why everyone doesn't just tick that box, because it makes this quite usable for road trip scenarios. You can see I'm down to about a third of a tank. I've got 140 miles of indicated range. That will probably go up actually as we chill here on the highway. Pretty easy to drive on the highway. Steering is quite darty even at 80 miles an hour. NVH, not all that bad, and this is most certainly quieter than that GTS that we had. I mean, it makes sense. GTS was a little bit more of a hardcore vehicle, but this one is less punishing, kind of in every aspect. And I like that about it, because it isn't really that much slower than the GTS. I think the Carrera S, honestly, GT cars aside, so not counting a GT3, a GT3 RS, or even a Turbo or a Turbo S, this is kind of the sweet spot, I think, in the lower end of the lineup for 911. Should we try sport response to pass this escape? It even pulls downshifts, wow. Oh man. Sport response is just the coolest thing. I love how other brands have kind of copied this now. BMW with their little boost paddle. I'm pretty sure Porsche did this first, though. I love that it's red now, too. It's like a forbidden button. You're like, you know you shouldn't push it, but you really want to. Sometimes you get the treat and you can actually push it. Push to pass. Oh man, we diminished 3 miles of fuel there from using Sport Response. You guys know ergonomically, I'm a big fan of what Porsche does with driving position, so this one is no different. It is great even in the Dot 2. Visibility out of this 911 is quite nice. Mirrors are nicely sized and well positioned. Even out the back here, the rear window is massive. I can see everything I need to see. We've got a great suite of cameras to look out the front. If you're pulling into a parking spot or something, that's got you covered there. Seat comfort is nice, and this is an 18-way seat, which means you can adjust things in 18 ways. Haha. No, actually though, there are adjustments on here that you wouldn't even think of, like leg bolster. The bottom, butt part of the seat will come in and squeeze you. So will the side bolsters, of course. You've got a leg extender. You've got lumbar. And the best part about this seat is all of the adjustments actually live on the side of the seat. You don't have any stupid things in the infotainment to do seat adjustments. It's all physical. It's so weird, the sort of mix of controls that Porsche does with putting some things in the infotainment, putting some things physical. It's like there's two teams of engineers that are fighting, and then they just have to kind of agree to disagree and have some physical and some screen. Ooh, Porsche brother! Very nice 944 turbo. He was probably trying to catch up. I didn't even see him. That's really sad. But rolling here in normal mode, going much too slow on this entrance ramp. I mean, the 911 is just easy to drive. I got in this yesterday on a very cold, rainy, miserable day, and it just kind of felt like I was driving a normal car, which is good in something like this. I mean, I kind of want a Grand Touring car like this to have that normal side. I want this to have the Jekyll. It doesn't always need to be Hyde. But with the push of this red button, it is. There are varying levels of Hyde with this row of toggle switches. Such intelligent programming with this 8-speed PDK, and it's so smooth. You've got some road intrusion here. You can hear those expansion joints. The engine is virtually silent on deceleration. Vent placement seems to be pretty good. I like adjusting the climate because that means I get to touch these switches. And they are nice. I still think Porsche does probably the best steering wheel on the market as far as looks. I think this is absolutely gorgeous and proves that you don't need a flat bottom wheel for it to work. It's about the perfect thickness, feels good in the hands, and it's got physical buttons on it. We've got a Bose sound system in this car, which we'll test out once we leave the store. And you've got a little volume slider here. Let's drop our windows. I think Tedward is the one that's famous for complaining about the window switch location on the 992, and you know what? I agree with him. You do have to kind of contort your arm to use those. I love the turbo noise in this car. It's so good. You get the occasional little brrr between gears too, which I like. Porsche still know how to build i911. They can take away the switch, they can take away the little needle in the middle, but the DNA, the soul, through your butt. This car gives me the James May fizz still. And I was about to say, here comes another 944, but I believe that is an FC RX-7. Very nice. I'll put this back into normal, quiet things down a bit. Now the 911 is now a pretty big car, but in a city setting, which I'm now realizing my way home is going to be rush hour. Rush hour starts at about 2 o'clock in Ann Arbor, as I imagine most cities probably do, but whatever. We'll save that for the way back. But this car, it doesn't feel overly massive. I mean, you do sit pretty low. I love how low you can make this 18-way seat. In fact, I have it in its lowest possible position. But you don't feel completely blind in this car. How busy do we think the grocery store will be today? It's a Thursday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I think today I'm not even going to try that parking lot. We're going to go straight for the Barnes & Noble lot. Maybe try our luck with finding some Pokemon cards while we're here. I'm going to snag this corner spot right here next to a Volvo wagon. You know they will be nice and respectful. Into reverse, pulls up our 360 camera. We're going to try and hug this curve here as much as we can without destroying our RS Spyder Wheels. Right up to the curb, you can see 911 fits in the spot with no problem. Plenty of room from this Volvo wagon here. Parking brake automatically engages, and the engine actually shuts off by itself too. Cool. All right. Well, let's check out spacing in the parking lot, and you guys should be proud of me because I've gone this whole video without complaining about the stupid door handles that Porsche gives you now on the 992. The interior door handles are fine, but I hate how they work on the exterior, and we'll save that when I come back with groceries and actually have to use them. But for now, you can see this fits in a spot with no problem. This is not like a massive supercar that won't fit in a regular parking spot. So, okay, I'm gonna go in, grab some groceries, and then we'll wrap this one up. Walking back up to the 992, man, it looks good. And it should, in theory, automatically pop the door handles. Check that out. I think they've kind of just been slowly improving these, and I've learned to live with them properly. Like, I know how they operate now, so they don't irritate me as much. However, I love the door handles on Emily's Boxster, and I wish they kind of just still use those. Anyway, we're going to use the frunk, because why not? Separated completely from the rest of the car, and it'll fit the bag in there just fine. And as you can see, found some goods at Barnes & Noble. Of course, they have the 1 per customer limit, so I got 3 packs, but Emily will like that as well when she gets home. Anyway, as it's starting to drizzle again, there's like a rain cloud coming over. Let's jump back in here and finish out our drive. Ingress and egress is not bad at all. Actually, getting into this 18-way sports seat, the leg bolsters aren't so aggressive that you have to like contort yourself to get into the driver's seat. And I know we briefly touched on the fact that this car has the rear axle steer option. Now, you do notice this when you're going around corners speedily, but where I most notice it is in parking lots. It just helps you maneuver that much easier. Oh yeah. Very tight turning radius there with help from that rear axle steer. I was riding in this yesterday with the Topher, and you can actually see the rear wheel steering from the side view mirror, so that is always cool as well. All right, let's get this on our last little stretch. Heated steering wheel doing me an absolute treat right now. And why don't we test out this Bose sound system? Now, believe it or not, a lot of cars in this class don't always have the most impressive sound systems for the money. And I'm talking cars that are $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 that have literally an infotainment system that's unusable, so you can't even access the sound system, Lamborghini Huracan, or just kind of a subpar sound system that isn't that great. Now, the Bose in this is actually pretty dang good, and Porsche will sell you a Burmester, which is an upcharge, obviously, by quite a few $1,000s, and I still yearn for the day that I get to test the Burmester, but for this Bose system just kind of coming in with the premium pack, it's a worthwhile upgrade, and it sounds good. Tight bass, you've got nice crispy highs, you've got speakers up here on the dashboard as for your tweeters. But 911 does sections like this with ease. You got a little bit of that intrusion there from the road. I mean, really just because this has a hard tire on it. I've been kind of fantasizing about having this on an all-season, which is just a weird thing to talk about. But this time of year in Michigan, you want like a sporty all-season. Like this on a Potenza Sport AS would be phenomenal for this time of year. Don't always desire to have a super hard, loud summer tire, but anyway. Brake pedal feels fantastic in regular driving as well, not just when you're pushing it to the limit. And you've got minimal lurches from the PDK. Every now and then you get a little bit of a, you know, just a little bit of a lurchiness from the clutches. That's normal for any sort of DCT. It's you're always going to have little moments like that. They're never going to be quite as smooth as a torque converter automatic. So anyway, pulling this 992.2 Carrera S into the city, let's go ahead and wrap this one up. Now, this is admittedly the first 992 Carrera S I've ever driven. I know it's been out. The .2 hasn't been out for terribly long, but it's the first time I've been able to get into one. Didn't really know what to expect because we've had some questionable things with 911s in the past that we've tested, but this one genuinely, I think, is my favorite. Over the base, over the GTS, this is the one to get, and it makes sense why this is the most commonly bought. It's kind of the sweet spot for a nice little daily driver 911. So why then do I think this 911 makes the most sense? Well, I think with it simply being the middle child in the lower end of the lineup, it's got the perfect amount of power. It has the ride quality that makes the most sense. It's not too stiff, yet it's not floating all over the place. I hate when I have to read people's minds when they don't use turn signals. And just kind of all the ergonomics in this car are right. It just feels quite good. Public full. Oh dear. Which means I'm probably not going to be able to get in. That is true.
Please select an event from the screen menu.
Let's see if it'll let me in. Aha!
Please proceed.
Aha! Full for the public, but open for Porsche 911s. So that will just about wrap it up for us here in this 992.2 Carrera S. Curious to hear your guys' thoughts in the comments. The one thing I will say about this car is that it's very expensive. This is a Carrera S, and it's pushing $200,000, and I know we have about 30 grand in options, but for a Porsche, that's kind of tame. I mean, there are probably another $50,000 to $60,000 in options we could put on this car, which means it would be possible to get yourself a Carrera S over $200,000, which is just insanity. I think the GTS we had was like 212 grand or something ridiculous. We have a Carrera T next week, so I'll be curious to drive back-to-back the T and the S just to kind of see which flavor I like the most. But as far as like daily driver status, I think the Carrera S is going to be your best bet if you don't want to pony up $300,000 for a Turbo S. You know, this one will make the most sense. But even the base car is pretty good. But hey, getting the Carrera S, you can say, I've got a Carrera S. It's got an S badge on the back. Also, I was looking at the Monroney again. Porsche charges for Guards Red. Like, come on, Porsche. You have to charge $1,500 for Guards Red, as if they don't have 17 million gallons of Guards Red paint in the factory. Oh no, the roof is shut. That's unfortunate. Oh my goodness, they're redoing it. Well, I guess that's good. All right, so let's find somewhere else to wrap this one up. What do you think? Next to this R34 Skyline? I just won't be able to give you guys a great look of the outside of the car, but that's all right. Into park. Parking brakes on. It's also going to be quite loud, so I apologize for that. So we'll wrap this up inside. Love the exit animation of the strip taillight as well. To fully wrap this up, great car, very dailyable. Plenty of power, good amenities inside, good sound system. It's comfortable. Materials in here are nice if you pay the extra $3,000 for the full leather pack, but it's very expensive. So you have to decide if buying a brand new one is worth it. I know kind of speccing a new Porsche is quite a special experience for some, so I get it if you're gonna go for a new one. But a 992.1 or even a 991, have yourself a 911. They're a good daily driver. And let's show you what it looks like one last time. Oh, it's so loud out here. It's okay, it just means we'll get a new surface there for the next video. All right, guys, that's gonna do it. Thank you for watching. And we'll see you next time. Take care.